What do you use, guys, coaches, to motivate yourself or your players, or simply to teach them a life lesson? Have a think about that. What do you use? You play a video, play a song. What do you do? Here's some of the angles I've taken with my teams over the years to teach them something about human endeavor, basically, or great sporting moments. Great sporting moments that can be applied to rugby league. I will just warn you though, there's some birds in here, so it's not just humans. One of them is the training regimens of Kenyan runners. So anybody who knows anything about Kenyans and their running abilities know that they train in sweltering heat. They push their bodies to the absolute limit in many cases. Whereas some people will tell you that rugby league players don't necessarily understand sacrifice like some other athletes in different sports. So I've shown my players something about the training regimen of the many Kenyan runners. One of my favourites is the rumble in the jungle and the tactics of Muhammad Ali, where Muhammad Ali was fighting a bigger, stronger opponent, and he had to come up with something different to deal with the size discrepancy. I actually stole that off Barry McDermott, who was the assistant coach of the Ireland team in 2008 that I was involved with, and because it was a really, really, really big reason why we beat Samoa in that particular World Cup, because we were playing a bigger, stronger side in many ways, and we had to use our smarts. Another one is the bravery of the prisoners of war in the true to life movie Unbroken, which is about the prisoners of war in Japan, and some of the human torture that was given out there, and the depths that the sufferers went through to stay alive and eventually thrive again in life is an inspiration. A bit selfish with this one, but Manchester City, who I support in the English Premier League, the way they clinched the league in the closing minutes in 2012 proves to teams that the game is never over. If you don't understand what I'm talking about there, go on YouTube and type in Man City final minutes 2012, and you will undoubtedly come up with a few videos that will show you the last 5-10 minutes of that game. Another amazing story is a story of Tom Brady and how he wasn't the first, the second, the third draft pick. Nobody wanted him, and he got plucked from relative obscurity. And it's funny, as the years go on, you realize how important he and Bill Belichick were together. They had to be together for Bill Belichick to succeed, but when Tom Brady went somewhere else, he helped another coach to succeed. Another one I use, and I do have a picture up of this in my living room, is how St. Paul's Cathedral was protected during the Blitz, and as in the war, World War II. The story tells us that Hitler wanted to destroy anything that was culturally significant in London when he was sending his bombers over to destroy parts of England. And monuments such as Big Ben and London Bridge, etc., were big targets for him, including St. Paul's Cathedral. And apparently Winston Churchill, as the legend goes, has said that we have to protect this at all costs. And they did. And there was a Times photographer who captured a great picture where there was all this mayhem going on, but St. Paul's Cathedral still stood in the middle of this mayhem, the smoke, the debris. But St. Paul's Cathedral stood up and was never brought to the ground. And that is just to teach players, whatever life throws at you or whatever a game throws at you, to maintain your center and maintain your compass heading north, if you like. Another one is how geese fly in formation. I told you there were some birds involved in this. This is from Alex Ferguson. The next two are Alex Ferguson. So Alex Ferguson, one of my favourite coaches. Again, I mentioned him a little bit later. That he used to use the story of how the geese flew in formation and looked after each other at all times so that they didn't have to suffer any danger alone. And he also used the story of the lunch on a skyscraper, because the lunch on a skyscraper portrait or photo actually has 11 people, which is the same as a soccer team. And they're having lunch on a construction beam on a skyscraper. I think it was the Empire State Building they were building at the time, I think. And he basically tells a story, or told the story in his coaching, that if any of those players were selfish, the beam tipped and they all fell off and died, or most of them fell off and died. And he also said about the geese that if any of them flew away out of formation, there'd be a weakness in the team. What do you use, or what have you seen? Let me know. Admin at rugbyleaguecoach.com.au, at Rugby League Coach on every social media channel apart from X, which is at RL Coach on the net. You probably know by now if you're a regular, but if you're not, I do weekly coaching seminars for coaches. And even if you haven't been to any of them this year, you can buy a season ticket from me. I'll give you a link to that soon. And you can get all the recordings, and you'll get all the future recordings as well, and have the chance to come live. So go to rugbyleaguecoach.com.au/coach and find the link there to weekly seminars and all our other things that are on offer right now.